Yeah, so the final game then in Group 1A is Cork against Waterford. And jumping back to last year, when you roundly dismissed Cork, as a lot of people did from winning a Winter All-Ireland, I think everything that people had said about Cork was confirmed in that Munster Championship game against Waterford, who completely ran them off the road for a finish in that game. I think they won it by 7 points. So if Kieran Kingston is ever going to be able to wind his team up and motivate them for a game, this should be it. Like, he's changed some of the panel. We know Anthony Nash is retired, Aidan Walsh has been dropped, so has Conor Lahan. So he's sort of moved on, feels like fresh faces, all this kind of stuff. Maybe players like Shane Barrett will see being introduced. Maybe some of the other under-20s, like Alan Connolly. We'll wait and see who's introduced. But they still have a great cohort of players. Pat Horgan, obviously, Shane Kingston, Dara Fitzgibbon. There is quality all over the field. Do you feel that they need to lay down a marker in this game?
Yeah, I think they need to show something, Shane. Yeah, they're going to have to. As I said, like we would have said before, maybe Cork aren't a great league team at that time of the year. The normal, winter, spring season, heavy sod, wet ball, whatever. Like, league and championship should be absolutely perfect for them this year. There should be absolutely no excuses. You'd imagine there's a bit of a bit between their teeth, particularly coming up against Waterford this weekend, because they showed very little against Waterford last year. While they were beaten by Tipperary in that qualifier on that awful day down the Gaelic grounds, and you could say Tipperary poked it away and should have been further ahead at different stages. I thought at least there was a bit more heart and a bit more fight shown from Cork. So I'd imagine Kieran Kingston will be trying to work off that template going forward. We know what they can do with ball in hand. I think he'll be working nearly solely on what are they doing when ball is not in hand. How robust are they in the tackle, particularly as forwards. His forwards can shoot the lights out. I'd be as happy if Shane Kingston and Pat Horgan only got a couple of points from play each, if they were, battering rams for defenders coming out, if they were holding up guys and making it much easier for the guys at the other end of the pitch. So that's going to be interesting. Donal O'Grady been in there as a coach and selector is going to be interesting as well. Obviously, probably out of the inter-county game a good while since he won that Munster title with Limerick in 2013, I think it was. So, or that was John Allen actually. He was involved with Limerick after being involved with Cork. But it's just going to be interesting to see what he brings to the table there as well. Would be seen as one of the most influential figures within Cork hurling, and obviously a previous All-Ireland winning manager. So interesting to see what he brings there. Kingston has done in the second year what I thought he'd do in the first year with the cull of players and fresh faces introduced. It's just a matter of getting that steel into Cork, to be honest with you. If they have that steeliness, they would be hard beaten, because we know they have the hurling, but yeah, I'm going to have to see it. I'm going to have to see it now before I believe it. And it's going to, based on what we saw against Waterford last year, they should have a massive point to prove this weekend.
Is it a lack of steel, or is it management and successive management not understanding the type of players they have and developing a system for them? For years we saw teams trying to copy Kilkenny and play that, direct sort of a game when they were winning All-Ireland after All-Ireland, and you could puck it up to TJ Reid, Henry Shefflin, Owen Larkin and so on and so forth, and they just win the ball and score. And at times Tipperary, for example, just went long ball, and you don't have the same type of players, so it didn't work. They had to find a different way of doing it, which was the crisscross, the interchanging of play, the flowing movement, all that kind of stuff. Do Cork just simply need to find a different style of play?
Potentially so. You need to. I suppose good management, good coaches will find a style of play that suits the players they have available to them at this moment in time. It's one thing when you see some managers coming in, some managers that play the sweeper system, shall we say, and they play the sweeper system regardless of the team that they're with, and you're just thinking, like, this doesn't suit every
Galway
system.
being an example of that, and like Shane O'Neill always impressed me with Napiershik, so I was a little surprised he did that. And I mean, look, if I was in there, maybe I'd make a Hames of it myself, and he got his team closer to Limerick than anybody, so maybe he's fully justified. But to me, that would be an example of it.
Yeah, no, a fair point, because they're a big, robust, physical team. You'd imagine that a more direct style would suit them, and like Cork, probably not a big, physical, robust team. So they need to open space. They need to create space. they need to place a massive value on possession. The one thing I will say is without the ball. That is what I'm saying. I just think they need to be, whether it's a swarm defence, whether it's getting 2 or 3 lads around the man with the ball, they do need to make it a lot more difficult. When Waterford were in possession against them last year in that Munster semi-final, they were absolutely going to town on them, and there just wasn't guys near enough to the attacking player, and the tackles that were going in just weren't robust enough at all. I know Donal O'Grady, when he was with Cork before, they could spend 20-25 minutes every night at training just working on hooking and blocking, just working on pressure. So I'm expecting a massive increase in their hook block tackle count this year, and I'm expecting to see a lot more as the guys would say, intensity when they don't have the ball.
Do you know, in general, I don't necessarily know if good defensive work involves killing lads. The days of the shoulder where you plant someone and turn them upside down, they're a little bit gone in a way, aren't they? So Cork generally have really mobile teams who are very fast. So getting hooks and blocks in is more about that and availing of the fact that you're a really pacey team. So to me, there's no reason that they shouldn't really be able to do that.
No, and that's why I thought even someone like Declan Dalton going in the edge of the square last year, I think it was one of the goals he got came from, a load of harassment that was going on out the pitch, and he was really good at that, and he was really good, like an old style centre forward in soccer. He was really good at keeping the ball up there and keeping the pressure on, and I think they need to get that balance between having all these lovely, like Shane, if we were picking the best 6 forward in the country and we want him to go out and hurl a match in the morning, we're not going to pick out all guys that are going to shoot the lights out. You're going to put, to me, my example I would pick is Burr won 4 Club All-Irelands with some great forwards, but Liam Power from Burr, who very rarely, and he won't like me saying it, was very rarely on the score sheet, to me was their most important player, because he was like a Bonner, he was like a stopper, he'd keep the ball there, he'd win frees for you, he'd get in big tackles, he'd get in big hooks and blocks, and I just think Cork need a player or two like that in the attack. They need to get that balance right.
Yeah, you need a few pig ignorant lads up there as well. Up and down the country, people love their clubs. Just ask the big names.
Sorry, it's kind of hard to put that into words, Shane.
Okay, well,
you always give it your all for a club, no matter who you're playing or what you're playing. You just always have to try and push yourself.
This is for the Tullaroan people, Nicky.
Whatever grade you're playing at within the county, that you were able to have that opportunity to play.
And the other night, like I said, I'm going to watch it.
Well, hopefully you will too, as Our Game launches an online fundraising platform for clubs, helping you raise money for your team through a live interactive show on Zoom. There was a time when a club could sell hundreds of tickets and fill out a big venue, putting on an entertaining show like Dances with the Stars, White Collar Boxing, The Cube, and anything in between. Lots of money in the coffers to ensure your team could operate for the season, and a good show put on for those supporting the cause. Right now we're quite some time away from being able to put big crowds into a venue, yet the costs of running a club remain. So if your club is in need of a financial solution, perhaps we have it for you. We'll do it all for you too. We'll set up the ticketing platform, we'll send you a unique Zoom link for each person who has bought a ticket, all the issues taken out there, help organise a great panel of guests and put out a live interactive show for those at home to get involved. Simply contact us on events@ourgame.ie and we'll set your club up for a highly profitable evening's work. It's a simple recipe for your club to get much needed cash in the door, with the extra option to sell raffle tickets if you've prizes to give away. So contact us now at events@ourgame.ie.